I think Team Fortress was the game we always wanted to play, but no one had really made yet. That's sort of really all there was to it, and so we started making it ourselves.
Lots of big changes, lots of big expectations in the world of Team Fortress 2. Rob Walker from Valve Software is here, going to tell us all about it. The game has evolved a lot since we first heard about Team Fortress 2. Now it's got more of a cartoony kind of vibe and feel to it. Why did you guys decide to go in that direction?
That mostly came from just thinking about, how the game plays and what sort of art style would fit that game best. The core of Team Fortress is sort of about the different classes, each having a different role. And so as a player, you can pick a different class and know that you'll get a pretty sort of unique experience for each class. Most of the classes are really different. It's like the spy, who's all about essentially outwitting your opponent. So if you can outthink people, then the spy is sort of a guy where you can fool them completely. And they'll know they've been fooled at the point where you stab them in the back and they realize that guy they thought was their friend turned out to be an enemy. Another guy excels at sort of dodging, like he's all about locomotion. He can locomote better than everyone else, and as long as he keeps on the move really, really effectively and dodges effectively, he's really, really hard to hit. You can defend a point as an engineer and be crucial to your team and still never shoot a shot. It's all about building a sentry gun and keeping it alive and making sure that enemies aren't taking it out from behind it and all that sort of stuff. So the heavy weapons guy who's an incredibly strong, aim is not too important with him actually. His gun is sort of like a big hose. You just got to keep enemies sort of roughly in the middle of the screen. Yeah. The skill for him is a little more about tactics, about knowing when to deal with the fact that your gun takes a while to wind up and watch out for enemy snipers because they're really dangerous to you and so on. So it should be that if classes are done well, I think that if you pick between two classes, then you get these really dramatically different experiences.
Have you kind of adapted the way that you play the game? Is it a little bit looser, a little bit more goofy?
No, I wouldn't say that. I don't think we've got any sort of less seriousness to the way that your skill it affects your ability to play the game. Multiplayer is sort of inherently humorous. It doesn't matter how serious you sort of make the art style and tell how serious the goals are. People are going to have a lot of fun and muck around a lot.
I think I remember Team Fortress 2 kind of being discussed and kind of announced about 5 or 6 years ago. Has it been that long?
Yeah, it's been that long.
Awesome.
Our process at Valve is one of constant iteration and play testing. So we sort of don't want to release anything until we think it's good, and so it's taken this long for us to get something we're really, really happy with. I think judging from the response we got from fans, the screenshots are really exciting to people, but when you see it in motion, it's a whole other thing. It's the characters move like you would expect characters to who look like that should. The animation system we've built for it is sort of the next step from anything else we've built. The Phong shading and so on all add to this sort of visual style, I think, that's really compelling, and we don't think we've built anything that's had quite the sort of visual style and flair to it ever before.